Good evening and welcome to the Alliance for the Great Lakes annual event, the Great Blue Benefit. I'm here with you tonight to celebrate the Alliance's long history of success protecting the Great Lakes and the water they provide to more than 40 million people in the United States and Canada. The Alliance celebrated its 50th anniversary last year a bit more quietly than we planned. Our large celebration had to be canceled due to the pandemic. But despite this, what's astonished me in the last year was just how much progress we made in protecting the Great Lakes. From making sure people had access to clean water, to stopping invasive species, and to cementing the new partnerships that make our movement more powerful. You'll hear more about all that progress later tonight. What didn't surprise me, though, is just how many thousands of people still wanted to stay involved in the work of protecting our Great Lakes. This work is that important. It's that motivating to people like you. And as we say, our work together is about protecting water and sustaining life. And last year, we all saw up close and personal just how critical clean water is to sustaining the lives of all people and wildlife. Just and safe access to a healthy environment is a requirement for the vitality of every person and community in the Great Lakes. And it's a right that we all share and depend on. Today, we are carrying what we learned forward as our energy and our motivation to make sure the Great Lakes are safe, clean, and accessible to everyone who lives here. The Great Blue Benefit is the Alliance's largest event, and it's hard not to be with you in person. But I'm excited to be hosting our first virtual fundraiser and to be able to include so many supporters from across the Great Lakes in one place. This year, our team at the Alliance has pulled together and shown how effective we can be, no matter where we are located, and I'm sure tonight will be no different. This event raises significant financial support for the Alliance, so while we still cannot safely hold an in-person event, we greatly appreciate you being here now. I'm going to start tonight by thanking our top sponsors, and you can feel free to clap for them from the comfort of your home. Our diamond sponsor is Solberg Manufacturing. Our platinum sponsor, GCM Grosvenor. Our gold sponsors, Beam Legal Team, Bell's Brewery, the Joyce Foundation, and Joan Rothenberg. And our silver sponsors, Meredith and Andy Miller, Miller Cooper & Company, Martha and Dennis Pierce, Remedy Medical Properties, and Jeannie and Thomas Tisbo. Now, I hope you have poured yourself a favorite beverage and are comfortably settled. Tonight, you'll hear from Great Lakes leaders, Alliance partners, donors, board members, and staff members, all of whom, with many others, make our work possible protecting the Great Lakes. Together, we'll share some of our recent accomplishments, our priorities for the coming years, and why your support is so critical. While attendance tonight was free, I hope that you will make a donation either through our text to give option or through our website, both of which you'll see on your screen. And thanks so much to those of you who have already contributed to make this possible. Our goal tonight is to raise $100,000, and I hope you'll help us get there. Now, before we do anything else, let's take a few minutes to reflect on those first 50 years.
Hi, I'm Cam Davis. I was the CEO of the Alliance for the Great Lakes from 1998 to 2009. But my favorite part of my background is I started as a volunteer for the Alliance, way back when. My love of the Great Lakes started when my family and I have a brother, a sister, a mom and dad, we would go to the lake every other weekend during the summer months and just go to the beach. And I remember seeing the white sails of sailboats dancing out on this blue, hazy water, and it just reminded me of what heaven must look like. And I remember my dad picking up litter along the beach when I was a kid, when most people would just walk by. And all of these things got me to thinking what a magnificent place we live in with the Great Lakes here, and how lucky we are to have the Great Lakes here. All of these things came together to start me on a lifelong trajectory of helping the Great Lakes, which is why I got involved with the Alliance so long ago. You know, the Alliance has been around now for more than 50 years. And for more than 50 years, it's been scoring victories to help restore and protect the Great Lakes. I remember as a kid, piles of dead alewives washing up on beaches, piles of dead algae washing up on beaches. And I know there were many, many other people around the region who said, we have to do something about this. We can't just let this keep on. And so they banded together and formed the Alliance for the Great Lakes, then the Lake Michigan Federation, because the Alliance recognized that power through numbers can become an unstoppable force for any kind of change that we want to see. The great thing about the Alliance is that it is that place that you can go, no matter who you are, no matter what your background, no matter what your expertise, and there's a place for you. You don't have to be a policy expert. You don't have to be a lawyer. You don't have to be in marketing. You don't have to be an economist. You don't have to be any of those things to find a role, to find a place, to help make sure that the Great Lakes are around for a long, long time. The Alliance is that family. It's that place you can go to find a role to help and to help keep the Great Lakes around forever. You know, we need the Great Lakes to be around for a long, long time. For that to happen, we need the Alliance to be around and healthy for a long, long time. So thank you for your efforts to be part of this family, which helps protect the lakes that we all love.
Hi, I'm Sue Canancer, Chair of the Alliance's Board of Directors. I'm so pleased to be with you this evening to celebrate the great work the Alliance has carried out over the last 50 years and look forward to much more. I was personally drawn to the Alliance through many connections to the Great Lakes, beginning with being born and raised in Holland, Michigan, going to the beach and fishing on Lake Michigan. It was a highlight of my childhood and ingrained in me a love of water and the lakes. As an adult, I learned to scuba dive in the lakes. I was fortunate to be able to dive in 4 of the 5 Great Lakes. While enjoying exploring the shipwrecks at the bottom of the lakes, I saw firsthand the impacts of invasive species like zebra mussels. Now as a property owner on Lake Michigan, I have also seen firsthand the impacts of nutrient runoff, as well as fluctuating lake levels, and how damaging both of those can be. These experiences reinforce my belief that these lakes are amazing and truly a gift to all of us and must be protected. We cannot risk taking such valuable resources for granted. Although I've spent most of my time on and around Lake Michigan, I'm very proud to be part of an organization that thinks about the Great Lakes as a whole. We cannot single out just one of the Great Lakes. They are an interconnected system, flowing one into the other and out into the Atlantic Ocean. Over a decade ago, the leaders of the Lake Michigan Federation recognized this and changed our mission and name to reflect this interconnectedness. While the waters of the Great Lakes connect an ecosystem, they also connect all the people and communities around the lakes to one another. I've been involved with the Alliance's Board of Directors for over 11 years, and this past year has been one of the most challenging and eye-opening we've faced. I'm proud of how the Alliance's staff and board have connected and worked together throughout 2020 to address the various challenges. We weathered these challenges due in large part to sustained confidence and support from you, our donors. Thanks to your support, I'm proud to say that we have maintained our strong financial health while continuing our programming and responding to the many threats facing the Great Lakes. I hope you'll consider making a donation tonight. Your support ensures that we are able to continue protecting the lakes. Thank you, and I hope you enjoy the program.
Here at the Alliance for the Great Lakes, we're all about protecting water and sustaining life every single day. We do that work in 3 ways. We demonstrate our leadership by advocating for the policies that are absolutely vital to protecting the Great Lakes for today and for tomorrow. We educate thousands of people every year across the Great Lakes region to take action so that everybody can be part of taking care of the Great Lakes. And we use research and analysis to tell the stories about why it's so critical to protect and care for this incredible source of fresh water that we all share. Now, we can't do this work alone. We rely on a network of partners and leaders across the Great Lakes region. And I want to share with you just a few examples of how the Alliance protects water and sustains life every single day.
Good evening. My name is Joy Mullinex. I'm the Executive Director of the Ohio Lake Erie Commission, Office of Governor DeWine. I've spent a lot of years working on Great Lakes policy issues. I used to work in Washington, D.C. for the House and Senate Great Lakes Task Forces. In between these roles, I served 2 terms on the board of the Alliance for the Great Lakes. Most people probably don't think about where their water comes from, but almost 3 million people in Ohio rely on Lake Erie for their drinking water, and about 40 million people get their drinking water from the Great Lakes. But the Great Lakes are so much more. Consider what these tremendous water bodies mean for all of the people who go boating, fishing, swimming, and come to restaurants, hotels, and trails just to be near the water. Looking only at those numbers, it's so clear why protecting and restoring the lakes is important. But it's personal as well. My kids are growing up fishing, swimming, boating, and loving Lake Erie too. Here in Ohio, we have a terrible algal bloom every summer near Toledo. In 2014, the harmful algal bloom shut down Toledo's water supply. With support from the Alliance and others, Ohio has funded Governor DeWine's H2 Ohio initiative to work with farmers to stop the flow of excess phosphorus coming from our over 1 million acres of farmland that would otherwise fuel the blooms. From algal blooms to invasive species to water affordability, I value the policy perspectives and efforts of Joel, Molly, Crystal, and the entire Alliance team. I will close with a big thank you to everyone who makes it possible for the Alliance to undertake its work for the Great Lakes. I've had the pleasure of working with many of the Alliance's staff and board members over the years and know that they are dedicated and passionate about their work. Certainly a lot has changed and improved over the 50 years since the Alliance formed. Ohio is close to delisting its first area of concern. Asian carp have been kept outside of Lake Michigan so far, and Ohio has been restoring thousands of acres of wetlands. Congratulations on your progress at improving the Great Lakes over the last 50 years, and I look forward to continuing to partner with you in the years to come.
Hello, my name is Crystal MC Davis, and I serve as Vice President of Policy and Strategic Engagement. From boaters on Lake Michigan to community members in urban centers whose primary connection to the lakes is that it's their source of drinking water, we're charged with protecting and advocating for our greatest natural resource, our Great Lakes. Water is essential for human life, and access to it is paramount. Whether it's toxic algae in Lake Erie or lead service lines in Chicago, we're passionate about addressing threats to our water supply so that residents of the Great Lakes have a more secure and equitable water future. The Alliance for the Great Lakes is engaging decision makers at all levels of government. We're interfacing with our congressional members, presenting at regional and binational meetings, serving on state commissions like the Ohio Lake Erie Commission, and working in collaboration with community leaders to amplify the local implications of policy decisions. From grass tops to grassroots, we're working to bridge the gap because the power to solve complex water challenges lie at the intersection of authentic community engagement and public policy making. Thank you.
Tagaliswagwake, hello all. My name is Melinda J. Danforth, Director of Intergovernmental Affairs at the United Nations. The United People believe that water is the foundation of life, and the protection of our waters is an essential responsibility given to our people in our original instructions from the Creator. We believe that it is our responsibility to ensure that our waterways are protected, maintained, and appropriately managed, as the generation of today is responsible to protect and enhance the quality of life for our children 7 generations from now. We treat water as our relative, so we are not going to do anything to harm it, we won't misuse it, we won't waste it, and we won't pollute it. Our nation's ancestors have utilized the waters on our reservation for life sustenance and travel. At one time, the waters were clean and pristine, a place where food grew and fish were abundant. As our ancestors were gatherers and farmers, sustainable farming continues to be essential in our environmental, health, and community food systems. We know that sustainable farming begins with healthy soil and clean water, and we utilize best practices to address pollution and runoff issues. We have invested so much time, resources, and effort in restoring the wetlands, streams, and landscape of Oneida. We recognize that the headwaters do not always lie within our nation's reservation, and the protection of Lake Michigan's health is more than just our responsibility. Partnerships with other regional governments and stakeholders is essential. The Alliance for Great Lakes has been an excellent partner in helping us complete landscape scale restoration and much needed work in the watersheds. The leveraging of funding, such as the Green Bay CP, Fox-Wolf Watershed Alliance, Lake Michigan stakeholders, and the Great Lakes Alliance has brought an organized focus to this area, resulting in real results in bringing back habitat, species, and clean water. With the political landscape changing and many water protectors coming together, we are excited to get back to our restoration projects with our partners, as we are seeing much improvement in water quality and the biological health of our streams and wetlands. We know our work is not done, and we look forward to continuing our work with all of our amazing water protectors. Yonko.
Hello, this is Governor Gretchen Whitmer from the Great Lakes State, Michigan. I want to extend my congratulations to the Alliance for the Great Lakes on its 50th anniversary. 50 years is an incredible achievement and deserves to be celebrated. Your work is crucial to the health of our Great Lakes. The Great Lakes are vitally important to the people of Michigan. They power our economy and way of life. The Great Lakes represent 1/5 of the world's fresh surface water, and nearly all Michiganders' drinking water is connected to the lakes. They provide Michigan with more than 800,000 jobs that represent nearly 23% of Michigan's payroll. The Great Lakes remain vulnerable, and we must continue to protect our most precious natural resources. Protecting our Great Lakes also means protecting the health of communities, families, and children. Everyone in the Great Lakes region should have access to clean, safe, and affordable drinking water. We have a lot of work to do on this front, and because of this, I launched the Michigan Clean Water Plan, a $500 million comprehensive plan to invest in our aging water, from source to tap. I recently worked with some of my fellow Great Lakes governors calling on the Biden administration to prioritize investments in clean water infrastructure. President Biden's recent American Jobs Plan includes critical pieces of our requests, like funding for lead service line replacements. Aquatic invasive species compete with native fish for food and habitat and threaten Michigan's $2.3 billion annual economic impacts from recreational angling. Some of the invasive species already in the lakes cost our region more than $200 million annually. And that's why Michigan has devoted millions of dollars of our state resources to ensure that invasive carp never make it into Lake Michigan. I want to thank the Alliance for your partnership to get new protections against invasive carp built at the Brandon Road Lock and Dam, and for being a solid ally to Michigan in this fight. I'm happy to report that engineering and design work is starting right now, thanks in part to your long commitment protecting the Great Lakes and our water demands all hands on deck. My administration will always be there for the Great Lakes, and we are glad to have the Alliance working with us to keep the lakes safe and clean for everyone today and for generations to come.
Hello, my name is Kim Foreman. I'm the Executive Director of Environmental Health Watch in Cleveland, Ohio. And we've been partnering with the Alliance for Great Lakes for the past 5 years. We appreciate the Alliance's approach to community engagement, which includes listening sessions with community conversations, education, and advocacy. They understand what it means to have a traditional environmental organization work hand in hand with a frontline organization at the intersection of environment, health, and racial justice. We look forward to what we can accomplish together through the education to action workshops, resident engagement, and elevating community voice in the policy work. We thank the Alliance for allowing us to build stronger relationships and partnerships, and we really look forward to the work ahead.
Hi, my name is Tim Holine. I'm an associate professor in the biology department at Loyola University Chicago. I grew up near Erie, Pennsylvania, and a few other places in western Pennsylvania. That area is so beautiful, but it's also very industrial. So my experience with nature was of the lakes and hills and forests in some places, and of mines and smokestacks in others. I always had a sense that I wanted to contribute to environmental conservation. That led me to research on chemical water pollution and to Chicago. It was about 10 years ago that during that work, I decided we should also start measuring the amount of trash we were seeing. Since then, my students and I have continued to study the sources, fate, and biological interactions of litter, including plastic, for waterways in the region. Plastic pollution has environmental and economic impacts. For wildlife, the concern is entanglement, ingestion, spread of invasive species, and interactions between plastic and the chemical pollution that's already present. Economic impacts include costs to local governments to clean up the trash and potential impacts on tourism. These problems are persistent as well. Plastic is designed to be durable, so it lasts a long time in the environment. The plastic we see out there is trash we're generating now, but it's also the plastic litter that's been accumulating over the last 70 years. When big groups of people are picking up trash, if they also record what they find, we can analyze those results. My students and I have been working with Adopt-A-Beach groups for many years to participate in cleanups and to analyze the data that volunteers have generated. This means we have results that represent the effort of many thousands of people spread out across the Great Lakes for almost 2 decades. There's no way my students and I could generate that kind of information. It's unique and invaluable. We would never have been able to do this kind of work without the contribution of Adopt-A-Beach volunteers. The Alliance programming and advocacy spans a lot of different components, and I'm most familiar with the Adopt-A-Beach program. That program has been a joy for me to participate in. As a person who leads cleanups at the beach by our campus, and as a scientist working with the data and organizers. What I see in the Adopt-A-Beach program is a community building experience. I meet neighbors, I take my family, I take my students, and you would think that picking up trash might leave us all discouraged about the state of the world and the part of human nature that leaves its mess behind. But it doesn't. We talk, we pick up trash, we take moments to enjoy how beautiful our beach is and what a treasure the lake is. I always come away feeling positive, happy to have contributed to an improvement in my community and to have connected with the people who share it with me.
None of this great work would be possible without the generous support of our donors. Whether it's protecting our water supply or restoring past harm to our lakes, the work of protecting the Great Lakes is long-term, and we rely on supporters to be with us for the long haul. I'm really pleased to have one of those great supporters with us here tonight. Please join me in welcoming Ellen Alberding, President of the Joyce Foundation, here tonight to talk about the Foundation's support of the Alliance and our shared commitment to the health of the Great Lakes and the communities that depend on them.
Hello, I'm Ellen Alberding. I'm president of the Joyce Foundation, and I'm so happy to congratulate the Alliance for the Great Lakes on its 50th anniversary. The Joyce Foundation has been a proud supporter of the Alliance since 1978, when it was then known as Lake Michigan Federation. And we were pleased to see it expand in 2005 to work across the entire Great Lakes Basin as the Alliance for the Great Lakes. The Joyce Foundation's mission is to advance racial equity and economic mobility for the next generation in the Great Lakes region. We support the Alliance because clean water is essential to that mission. The Great Lakes are the jewel of our region. Their beauty draws families from miles around for the joy of watching children playing in their fresh waters. Joyce and the Alliance have a shared commitment to caring for the Great Lakes, the waters we all love. Protecting clean water from lake to tap, addressing inequities in our water systems, and tackling the challenges from a changing climate and aging infrastructure are a call to action for us all. The Alliance is a leading national, regional, and local voice on these issues. It has a long track record of success, from passing and implementing the Great Lakes Compact to helping create and ensure funding for the Great Lakes Restoration Initiative, to leading the region in the prevention of invasive species. The Alliance's work has been critical to ensuring that our water is safe and enjoyable for everyone to use. We've been so excited to see the Alliance's expanded focus to address water challenges that are often most severe for people of color and lower income people in our region. No one should be without clean, affordable water in their home. No one should have to worry about sewage backing up to their basement or communities that are flooding from failing wastewater systems. We are very proud to partner with the Alliance to address these issues and to work together to ensure that everyone in our region has access to the lakes and the benefits they provide. According to the Environmental Protection Agency, federal Great Lakes restoration spending between 2010 and 2016 will result in more than $4 billion of increased economic activity through 2036. Great Lakes recreation and tourism provide roughly $3.5 billion to Great Lakes states' economies each year and provide close to 63,000 jobs. This underscores why investments in the Great Lakes are so critical to the health, economy, and well-being of our region. We are so proud of our long and productive partnership with the Alliance for Great Lakes. And as everyone knows, none of this happens without great leadership. And I want to specifically thank Joel Brandmeier for being an unbelievable steward and leader of the Alliance for Great Lakes in partnership with his board of directors. Thank you so much for having me today, and we look forward to working together going forward.
Hi, I'm Larry Bell, president and founder of Bell's Brewery in Comstock, Michigan, and I am a longtime supporter of the Alliance for the Great Lakes. So, as a beer brewer in Michigan, of course, I'm very concerned about water quality. Water is the biggest ingredient in the product I make, and making sure that it's clean and free of pollutants is really important. I guess, if I can't advocate for clean water, I don't know who can. It is just paramount to our business that we have a good supply of clean water. In in Comstock and Kalamazoo, where we make our beer, our water is groundwater. But of course, all the water in the Great Lakes Basin is connected. For our brewery in Escanaba in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, our source for water there is from Lake Michigan. So, as the Great Lakes goes water-wise, so goes the water of our region. And I support the Alliance in their causes because I do need this clean water. And my support, my advocacy for clean water is not a political statement. It's a business statement, number one, for me, because it's something I need for my business to grow and thrive. I think for Michigan, our future really is in a blue economy, in the water that we have for production, for recreation, for tourism. So I'm happy to support the Alliance, their education efforts, their advocacy efforts, and I wish them all the best. Sorry we can't be in person here today. I ask for your support on behalf of the Alliance. Bell's Brewery and Larry Bell are going to continue our support for the Alliance, and we're looking forward to another year of great things from them.
Hi, I'm Charlie Solberg. This is my wife Joyce, and we have a company out in Itasca called Solberg Manufacturing. We have been involved with the Alliance for the Great Lakes since 2009. When I grew up, I lived within about a mile of the lake.
I personally have had a lifelong love affair with Lake Michigan. It began when I was very young and we went swimming and played at the beach. And then my dad got a boat and we were water skiing a couple times a week out there. And then as I got older, I worked at the Wilmette Beach as an office girl, but it was right on the sand and I just loved it. As I got older, I began appreciating its beauty more and more. And then as Charlie and I had a family, the fact that it was clean water became a very important factor. Later, when our kids were out of the house, I really needed something productive to do. So in 2009, I began volunteering at the Alliance for the Great Lakes. I made phone calls thanking people for their donations, and I worked on the gala every year. In 2011, I joined the board and did 2 3-year posts. After learning more during that time, I was sold and committed to stay on. The Alliance works very hard on very important issues. They stay involved with issues and make an impact. I am proud of their efforts. A few of our children have also become involved. They have also grown up to love the lakes, and they frequently swim in the lake now whenever they get the opportunity. I am very optimistic that the Alliance will continue to make a big impact on the health of our Great Lakes. I think we all believe that clean water is a basic human need. I'm very thankful that I became aware of them and that I have been able to see firsthand what they do.
One of our goals is to put more than 50% of our philanthropic gifts towards the environment. And due to that, the Alliance for the Great Lakes is one of our top items or top services that we put money towards. And one of the main reasons is that Joyce was involved with it, so that's very good and feels good that we have people that are active with it. To see that we have a couple sons that were involved is also a very nice thing to have. And now we're at the stage where what has Alliance of the Great Lakes done for us? Well, what I see is that they're very active in keeping it the way it is, saving the water for the people who live within the watershed and close thereabouts to Lake Michigan and the other Great Lakes. They are keeping the Asian carp out of our waters, and they're doing everything to keep that from happening here, and we support all those activities. We'd like to say thank you to everybody for all their efforts there, and hope that you continue the good work. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Joelle Mogerman, incoming chair of the Alliance for the Great Lakes Board of Directors. I'm honored to be with you this evening. I have lived most of my life on the south side of Chicago. Lake Michigan, or the lake, is a large part of my identity. It grounds my sense of direction. It provides a calm after a hectic day. It causes awe and wonder at its daily surface and color changes. It provides joyous memories of parties, birding, biking, and fishing for me, my family, and friends. Intellectually, I know the Great Lakes are our fresh water system and what that means for human ability to thrive. My heart will always be tied to the lake. Through work, my head is linked to Great Lakes issues. And through my second time on the board, my hands are now serving the Alliance for the Great Lakes at a critical time for Great Lakes conservation. Our current board chair, Sue Knatzer, spoke earlier about the challenges we've all faced in 2020 and into 2021. It's been quite the year. Thank you, Sue, for your leadership during this time and to all of you for your support. I'm excited about the future. The past year has challenged all of us, including the staff of the Alliance and the board, to think deeply about how people and communities are connected or not to the lakes. The challenges may feel overwhelming, but I'm confident that the Alliance is ready to meet them. Everyone should have the opportunity to access and enjoy safe and clean water, and we believe that people have the power to address threats to clean water and the Great Lakes. We make it our mission to partner with communities and leaders to develop actionable solutions that protect the lakes and our communities. And we work to help everyday people find opportunities to create change to protect clean water in their community. Please donate tonight to help us continue our work to ensure that everyone around the Great Lakes can safely enjoy the lakes for recreation, have access to safe drinking water, and be protected from the harm of water pollution. Thank you.
Thank you again for spending your evening with us, and thanks so much to our sponsors for their support. The funds raised this evening are a demonstration of the importance of the Great Lakes to you and to so many people around the region. I have a vision of a thriving Great Lakes and healthy water that all life in our region can rely on, today and far into the future. I know from your presence and from your support tonight that you share this vision, and you are a powerful voice for the Great Lakes. Clean water brought us here tonight, and it links us together every single day. We've accomplished so much already. We have so much work ahead, but our vision is clear, and we leave here tonight knowing that we have your support to make it real. Together, we can make the Great Lakes safe and clean for all. Thanks for inspiring me and inspiring everyone at the Alliance every day, and for everything that you do for our Great Lakes. Good night.
Thank you from Washington, D.C., where we're working hard to secure federal funding, legislation, and policies that guarantee safe and affordable drinking water for all.
Thank you for keeping our beaches and shorelines clean and safe for all to enjoy.
Thank you for supporting our work to reduce agricultural pollution that fouls our beaches and threatens our drinking water.
Thank you for helping us protect the Great Lakes and the people that rely on them by keeping invasive species out.
Thank you for your continued financial support of our work year after year.
Thank
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.